Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Spence is here.
I am.
And Mike said he's going to be a little bit later, so he'll be here sooner or later. Our numbers, 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream Wirecast Software, and sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. It's kind of a rainy morning in the Carolinas. I don't know, Nick, is it raining over there?
I don't know. I haven't looked outside.
No.
I don't have any windows.
He doesn't have any windows.
Yeah, I don't have any windows.
It's
and it's not raining up here. It's supposed to. I know it's supposed to later this afternoon, though.
It was like summer yesterday.
Yeah, it was beautiful down here.
It was
mid-60s.
Gorgeous. Kathy went outside, was trimming bushes and cleaning up, and I went out there, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was recording some shows in the studio, and the women wanted to eat lunch, and they brought lunch with them, and we went outside and sat around the table under the patio, and it was unbelievable. It's about time. I mean, we need the warmth.
I was swimming yesterday. It was great.
What?
Swimming. I went swimming in the lake.
Yeah.
Great. It was so nice. It was incredible.
Wow.
But but we need the rain. It's been a long time since we had good rain, so it's fine.
I've noticed, and this is not anecdotal evidence. There's many people that I know are noticing cracks in their house, like little small cracks, settling cracks.
Yeah. Oh, because
it's so dry that.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Well, let's see. I've got a bunch of stories. Unless, I mean, any of you have anything you want to bring up right off the bat?
Well, the world is supposed to end this week, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, well, that's right.
The doomsday clock?
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you take all your money out?
Clock, which is supposed to be closer to doomsday now.
You need to go and get your money out of the bank. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I could be holding it when the world melts instead of having it in the bank.
Yeah, put it in the walls of the house. That's the way to do it. I do with all my money. I don't believe in banks.
So millions of new cars sold in the U.S. and Europe are connected, having some mechanism for exchanging data with their manufacturers after the cars are sold. These cars stream or batch upload location data and other telemetry to their manufacturers, who argue that they are allowed to do virtually anything they want with this data, thanks to the explicit consent of the car owners, who signed a lengthy contract at purchase time that contained a vague and misleading clause deep in its fine print. So I mean, I don't know if there could be a name and information, but the uh, driver of the car at that point. But they can take that data and say, yeah, this car that was bought by such and such was at Crabtree 5 days out of 7. What it's to me that's kind of a limited information. Of course, they can figure out what speed you were going, and
Well, think about carry it forward to if they know what speed you're going,
yeah,
they could sell that information to your insurance company.
yeah, true.
And if they know that you go to a specific place every day to have lunch, they could use that information to somehow market something to you. Or
But
if you frequent a specific store where you buy, I don't know, you go to Lowe's a lot. And I mean, all this stuff, think about what it can be used for. They're building these massive databases of everything that you do.
right, but
Remember,
you
what was the movie? The one about Arnold Schwarzenegger going to Mars. I can't remember the name of the movie. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. How he walks into the airport and there you've got and it was in Minority Report too, where they've got the custom ads. They do an eye scan, and the next thing you know, they've got ads coming up. Oh, hi, Mr. Nissan. We hope you enjoyed your new Toyota Camry, and in the future, we'd like to, we have these floor mats we'd like to sell you now, and just that sounds innocent, but it really isn't.
Nick, does it bother you?
No, not really, because they're already doing it with your cell phone anyway.
Yeah, so they know cell phone. They know if you're not home, so the thief can come to your house and say it's time to rob his house.
I mean, they know where you are anyway.
No cell
So
phones in the house.
Well,
I think awareness of it is a good idea, but I don't know if there's anything we can really do about it.
well, I was when Mike gets here, I'm sure he'll talk about it. Him and I were on the phone yesterday. He was trying to do something with his Amazon Echo device. And we were talking about that, and he said, "Oh, I don't like all this." And I said, "You're already 10 feet in. You've got a cell phone. You've already got these devices. Now is not the time to say, "Oh, I don't like this." It just seems like it's a day late and a dollar short.
And think of the steps you'd have to take to unhook yourself.
Yeah, for most people, it's impossible at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, what we need to do is we need to swap Echo devices. You take my Alexa, Spence takes yours, and we'll screw them up. Because then it's going to turn out that Spence likes to listen to oldies and Amnon likes to listen to podcasts, and which is completely wrong. I mean, see where I'm going with that?
Yep.
Well, fortunately,
Yeah, that's wishful thinking,
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure Alexa's smart enough that when it boots up, it reports its IP address. And
well, it does. You connect it to your Amazon account. That's how it knows what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
just like your cable company is smart enough to know what network you're on, so it won't let you watch all of the shows that you can with their live TV app. Because if they're not licensed to show them on another network, they get blocked. So if I'm using my iPhone streaming from Verizon and try to connect to Spectrum to watch live TV, the list is maybe 1/10 of what the total list of stations I normally would get would be.
Nicholas,
Yes, sir.
what is the command that you put in the Twitch chat in order to tell people? Is it exclamation chat?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't remember how exactly. Oh yeah, you're live on Twitter. I'll pull that. I'll pull that up and I'll moderate that.
You what?
I said I'll pull that up and moderate that in a minute.
Information chat. I don't know. That's what I put in and nothing came back.
Should be exclamation point.
Anyway. Now, there's a lot of people, I hear a lot of people talking about the OnePlus, and
Yep.
So a new report says that there's still a OnePlus app that can grab data from the phone and send it to servers in China without a user's knowledge or express consent. Now, they don't say which one it is, and that's kind of dumb. It's sort of like it's just trying to scare people. Hey, there is still one app that can do that. Apparently, there were apps that were doing it before, and they got taken out or cleaned out or whatever. But there is a problem there with those phones.
I'm not a fan of OnePlus.
Do we know anybody that uses a OnePlus? Does
Brian
Andrew?
and his wife have one.
Andrew's not using OnePlus. I can try. There's
No, Andrew's not, but I know both Brian and his wife both have a OnePlus.
Does that make it a 2?
Yes, especially when you have the OnePlus 4. The OnePlus 4 and the OnePlus 4 equals the OnePlus 2.
This is a real interesting thing. Bill Gates thinks that artificial intelligence will take over a lot of jobs and ultimately will be a good thing. In an interview, Gates...
That's because he thinks the world will be like Star Trek, where money goes away. And
he's a globalist.
money goes away, and there's no need to work.
Exactly. That's what the thing here is.
Sure, right.
Gates said that robots taking over our jobs will make us more efficient. Really?
Well, then why do we need to bolster populations around the world? Like you got zero population growth in Europe, so why do you need to import labor?
I don't know. It says that it will make us more efficient and lead to more free time. That I can understand. They say, well, certainly we can look forward to the idea that vacations will be longer at some point. Yeah, with your money in the bank, sure. He told that to Fox Business. If we can actually produce twice as much as we make today with less labor, the purpose of humanity is not just to sit behind a counter and sell things, you know.
So that his whole life and fortune is based on that.
It's unbelievable. What arrogance.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point, is they know better than us. Amnon, you screwed us over now because all of our machines are going to stop working.
They already are.
Put the word out. Oh, that's it.
They already are.
Turn on all these bugs.
Nick came across an article about the guy from Intel that said,
this is great.
and he's not the only one that says that, though. Where was it? I think the CEO of HP is saying it too. And Dell. So it says the Spectre and Meltdown mess continues, with Dell now recommending their customers do not install the BIOS updates that are supposed to resolve the Spectre variant 2 vulnerabilities. These updates have been causing numerous problems for users, including performance issues, boot issues, reboot issues, and general system stability. Due to this, Dell EMC has updated its knowledge base article with a statement advising customers to not install the BIOS update and to potentially roll back to the previous BIOS if their computers are exhibiting unpredictable system behavior. ZDNet reports that HP, too, has issued a similar advisory. The computer manufacturers pulled its SoftPaks BIOS updates with Intel's patches from its website and said it would be releasing a BIOS update with a previous version of Intel's microcode on Thursday. That's last Thursday. That's amazing. You know, and look what Intel is telling people, and this is let me read that, and then Intel plans to release chips that have built-in protections against the Spectre and Meltdown attacks later this year. He said, the CEO said during company quarterly earning call this week. The company has assigned some of our very best minds to work on addressing the vulnerabilities that exploited by those attacks. It's just ridiculous. Listen to this again. They will release chips that have built-in protections against the Spectre and Meltdown. What do you see? I mean, I see a big
conspiracy
problem with this statement. I would want to see Intel plans to release chips that do not have those vulnerabilities.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that weird?
What is that? This is like, okay, we're going to keep those in there, but we're going to put something there that will protect. What in the world?
You know, I read an interesting report this week. Well, not a report. It was some blog.
Yeah.
That's not a official source of anything. That this Spectre thing is one of the government backdoors. And the reason that they're not wanting to patch it is because it's a backdoor.
Very interesting.
Well, I mean, it would make sense, would it not? The fact that they're now talking about how they're not going to actually fix it, they're just going to put a patch in place for it.
Yeah.
How about they fix the underlying architecture?
That's
I mean, that seems like
I
it
don't
would be the
understand this.
solution to me.
If they spin this the right way, they can also make it into a giant financial boom for them too.
Yeah, new cards.
Yeah.
Or new chips.
Oh, you have to replace all your machines, these processors, and think about it. Who are you going to go to? Where are you going to go? You got everybody vulnerable, and you can't say, well, I'm not going to buy from Intel or AMD anymore. Okay, so
what are you going to buy? Run
Right.
your own chip?
Yeah.
ARM.
Yep. And even some ARM, what is it? ARM is susceptible to.
I think some ARM is susceptible, yeah.
Yeah. Spectre, but not Meltdown.
Meltdown.
Well,
No. It's Nick, I kind of agree. I never thought about this, but I agree with what.
I'm not saying I believe.
I know, but I mean, I agree. There is something there. Otherwise, fix it.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be pretty simple. Release am I really going to believe that Dell and HP give a damn about my system performance?
Right.
I mean, if they cared about my system performance, they'd make better computers that weren't, they wouldn't market these computers as oh, look at this great computer when it's really just a piece of junk. So I don't buy it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's something there that we don't know about. No. But yeah,
We shall see.
we shall see. Let's see what else we have here. A bill that would make it easier to fix your electronics is rapidly hurtling through the Washington state legislature. The bill's ascent is fueled by Apple's iPhone throttling controversy, which has placed a renewed focus on the fact that our electronics have become increasingly difficult to repair. Starting in 2019, the bill would ban the sale of electronics that are designed in such a way as to prevent reasonable diagnostic or repair functions by an independent repair provider. Preventing reasonable diagnostics or repair functions includes permanently affixing a battery in a manner that makes it difficult or impossible to remove. And apparently a lot of the newer phones in the last, 2 years?
Yeah.
Have...
They can't replace the battery.
For all practical, I mean, you can, but for all, you cannot. I mean, you have to send it in and have it replaced. It's soldering it in and all kind of things, and it's not as simple as
placing it like on on the older Samsung phone. But even Samsung's doing that now because they realize that there's a hell of a market in providing repairs.
Absolutely, and I guess that's what this bill is trying to fix. Is no, I mean, people can replace their own battery, just buy a new battery and put it on like in a flashlight.
Yeah.
Most changes in products are, once they get to the mainstream phase, are cost reductions for manufacturing. So when you get it, you have your first product is always the most serviceable because it hasn't had a chance yet to be shrunken down and made into more cost-effective manufacturing steps. But once that happens, think about it. Does the price of the product go down necessarily? iPhones? No. They don't get cheaper.
No, they continue to actually go up in price.
Now they're already talking about getting rid of the first generation 10 and replacing it with and they're saying that wasn't as popular as they had hoped, but I think at the same time it was so new and so out there with where they weren't able to manufacture or even attain the parts that they needed necessarily. That it was intended to be out there at a very high price and to basically set the new price point. So now going forward, you can expect iPhone 10s are going to be, $1,000 plus.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple things that really screw them with the 10. The first thing obviously would be the cost. The second thing would be the lack of a home button. I think it's just people aren't ready for that. And that's and Pete, you can say what you want about Apple, but that's when you're on the leading edge of innovation, which you could absolutely say Apple's on the leading edge of that. That's unfortunately what happens sometimes.
On my 7, I have a criticism of. I wasn't happy when they took away the phone jack.
Oh yeah, it sucks. I mean, I hate it.
Deal with that. What they did was they moved the home button, not the touch screen button, but the button on the top that used to be on the top of the iPhone to the side, and they have it opposite the volume control. So when you go to squeeze that button to get leverage against the phone, you've got to squeeze one of the volume buttons at the same time, which is very inconvenient.
Incredibly inconvenient.
Yep. And I think it's a stupid idea. I don't know if what the 8 looks like.
Yeah, it's on the side too.
On the side.
I got used to it because I had a 6 for a while where it was on the side, so I got used to it.
I'm not used to it because I know, but I don't like it.
That's how my Samsung Galaxy 3, is that what I use? S3 is. And many times when I'm out and the phone should have rang in all these hours. And I take it out and the volume is all the way down because every time you turn it off on the side, or every time I put it in my pocket, you hold it and it's right there on the volume. And it's kind of stupid. Yeah, I agree.
I think in my case, it makes it worse because I have a an OtterBox Defender case, which makes the buttons stiffer anyway. Which I don't mind that so much because it's protecting the phone. If I didn't have that case, the thing would be in pieces. So there was another. I'm trying to think. There was something else that happened this week that was a big deal, and now of course I can't remember it. I'll think of it.
Something yesterday when I was. I mean, it was warm outside, and there was me in here and 3 other women. It was getting hot in here. I mean, I was looking at the temperature gauge, and it was in the 81, 82. So I put the exhaust fan, and it cooled it by a degree or 2, but that's about it. So I said, well, in between the shows, I'm going to turn on the AC. So after the second show, I went to turn it on, and it flashes the display and goes out. And it was going out from the air conditioner. It's a window air conditioner that has the big plug with the reset button on it, and I would have to press it again, and it beeps, and you can see a weird display on the AC, and it goes out. I said, "Oh, great, it's stuck, so it probably can't turn." So I gave up, and I didn't have time to do anything. After they left, I went outside, and I hit it. I mean, I hit it with my hand real hard a few times. Came inside, turned it back on. The thing came back on. You know, I mean, it's. You think, wow, you've been off during the winter, and you need a push.
I need a push every morning. What are you talking about?
Do you want me to come and hit you hard with my
started every morning
with my hand?
Good smack will get me going. That's fine.
Yeah, that's it. Smack it. But yeah, it came on. I'm gonna ask Uzi to bring me a. Apparently, in Florida, they're selling those split units.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna get. And he said that they have like 8,000 or 9,000 BTUs. It's about $300, $250.
Nice.
How much?
250, 300. Because they sell a lot of them, so there's a lot of competition. Over here, you can get it on during the summer on Craigslist. You can see them for 400, 500. But I also figured that I need something. I don't want to replace it with another window unit because the window unit makes a lot of noise. And during the summer, I have to battle it. So with those split units, when you only have the fan in the room and the actual unit with the compressor and everything are sitting on the ground outside, that's good.
So what brand makes a split for that cheap?
I have no Toshiba?
Because that's incredible. I know local contractors that sell those units, they're $3,000 minimum to start.
To install and everything.
Yeah. Well, still, the units themselves, they're charging you $2,000 for the unit.
Now, wait a second. We're not talking about a home system.
No, splits are not intended for that unless you have for a single room, a split for a single room.
Yeah, that's
the original intention of those was to put into difficult places that you didn't have ductwork.
Right.
Which implies that it's on a single room basis. Yeah, there are some that are made that are multi-zone where you have a single compressor, but that makes it a big unit then.
No, these are smaller units that are like I said, 8,000-9,000 BTUs.
That's still pretty
enough
substantial
for a room, and it's actually for you to do it yourself. They come pre-charged, You install it, and then you press the hose onto the. It's like a quick connection,
Connect. Yeah. So,
and you click it, and that's it. You're ready to go.
do you have any links to any information on these units?
No, but I can ask him. I mean, I've seen him here for about $300, $400, $500 during the winter. I mean, during the summer. Sorry. I don't think there are any right now, but they sell them in Durham. They sell them in Raleigh, and I think he was talking about I can't remember who he said, Panasonic or Toshiba, but one of the bigger consumer names, consumer.
Well, I take it back. I'm seeing the prices you're talking about now. I'm looking online. There's a 12,000 BTU split for $639.
Yeah, you see, and you have to also see. I mean, they're more expensive if they also have a heater.
Right.
Some of them will heat.
Here's an LG 12K cooling and heating.
Yeah.
For $900.
Yeah, you see, I mean that's more like it.
And I believe the heating units will probably be resistance heating and not heat pumps.
No, they're not. They're resistance. Absolutely. They're heat coolers.
Well, I'm surprised. I thought there'd be, and in that case, geez, a 12,000. I could put one in my garage.
Yeah, great. But I mean, you see, it's a whole lot easier and cheaper to get a heater for the winter. To get a heater that will.
Well, I don't use a heater that much. I could sure use air conditioning though in my garage.
So you buy the air conditioner. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you can buy a 12,000 BTU air conditioner for about $300-$400. So and a window unit. Now, if you don't have a window, this looks to me like a much better solution. And I remember seeing one at John's house, and he turned it on, and I said, "Well, turn it on." He said, "It is on."
Yeah, quiet.
You can't hear a thing, and it's just like something that looks like a shop. I mean, a shop fluorescent fixture that was on the wall. I mean, that's what it looked like. It was a very small, inconspicuous thing that was hanging on the wall, which is just the fan, really. The fan and the...
Well, that was in his wine cooler, right?
No, that's upstairs.
Oh. He had a special unit, thermostatically controlled room for his wine storage.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So, I mean, it's just... Right now, over here, it's 76 degrees, 77.
Here's a 12,000 BTU split with heat pump for $750.
Yeah, and when the summer comes and they sell a lot of them, they'll be cheaper.
Well, that wouldn't be bad.
Mike is saying that the tune-in feed to his Echo and Dot is intermittent. I don't know why. That's interesting. There's plenty of bandwidth there. Let's see what else we have here. Net neutrality. Did you see who's getting into net neutrality?
Oh, Burger King. It was ridiculous. Oh, boy.
With their $99 5-piece chicken nugget set, they're getting into the neutrality. That's good.
Ridiculous and a bit disingenuous, too.
Yeah, I mean, it just totally, what a mockery.
Yep.
It goes by now.
Scream about how this is a serious issue and the internet's going to explode, yet Burger King is like, oh, hey, we're here.
Supposedly there are apps coming out now to detect net neutrality violations. It's like, what?
Okay.
Based on whose metric?
It said,
Yeah.
by now you probably seen Burger King's spoof ad on the decision by the U.S. Federal Communication Commission to repeal net neutrality. In the ad, Burger King customers are informed that there are now 3 lanes for ordering Whoppers, each with substantially different prices and waiting times. The ad has already generated over 1 million views on YouTube and is lighting up Twitter. One thing he says he missed the first time is that while the Burger King counter service is clearly in on the act, the customers are apparently real. They learn of the cockamamie scheme at the counter in the style of the old TV show Candid Camera. I don't know if that makes more people go to Burger King, but when I read this, I said, okay, no more. Oh, not that I go to Burger King, but I said, no, I'm not going to go to Burger King. It's stay with food. What are you getting into that kind of stuff? What do you know about that kind of stuff?
You're going to go out there, you're going to step in it now, and then you'll be victims because you stepped in it.
It's ridiculous.
It's a vast right-wing conspiracy, I'm not.
I agree.
It's it's the same thing that I say about that whole situation with Trump. Guys, get over it. Trump is the president. You don't like it? That's too bad. He is the president. And you need to get over it and go on. Same thing here. Net neutrality has been repealed. If there are problems, then do something. But don't try to, just because you don't like the fact that it was overturned, because it was put in place by our previous administration, just wait until there's a problem. Get over it. It has been repealed. Nobody knows whether it's going to hurt the internet or it's going to help the internet. There are arguments in both directions, but the fact is, it's a fact. Say it, Nick.
Fact.
It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
so Gary today is G Wise, I think. What'd you say? I'm sorry, Spence.
no, it's okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I kind of lost my train of thought anyway. My mind doesn't seem to be.
It derailed?
Yeah, it's kind of derailed. I'm off in the weeds. I marvel at the way people are unhinged, and yeah, I mean, previous administrations, it seems every time we're told that we can't protest or we're told that same thing. Get over it. It's who won. Just deal with it. And then we kind of, people of our mindset kind of sit back and just go, okay, we'll vote him out. And that will be the extent of the craziness. It won't be a lot of, there are always people that are going to overreact. But for the most part, we kind of just, take, well, okay, then the next thing we can do then would be to make sure that we don't reelect that person in the future. I remember what it was now. I saw somebody made a comment on Twitter about, oh yeah, that Constitution is so old and useless and stupid. We should just drop it. So the comments that came back, people were, you are aware that there is a process for actually amending the Constitution, which we've used over 25 times in the past, and that we can actually change it. So feel free to invoke a constitutional convention because that's what's available to you.
Well, that's a big thing. Even people like a lot of the talk radio hosts are being paid by some group to start to tell people to start voting for constitutional conventions, which are not the solution to the problem. But
No, but that's the legal recourse.
yeah, no, it is.
I think the problem with a constitutional convention is if we have one, you have to let everybody make their. Once you convene it, it means that any state can bring anything forward.
And unfortunately, that
we'll be lost in space with crazy proposals. When if you could say, well, they're going to deal with these three things when we have the convention, you can't just say that's it.
That's my problem with the Constitution. On the outside, it sounds like a great idea, but then you get into it, and then they start screwing with state retirement funds and everything else, and it just evolves into a real mess real quick.
Think about why now we have so many victim classes and special interest classes that we would never ever be able to deal with it all.
Yeah.
You know why it's not going to work?
Why?
And why it won't happen? Because the people that want the change, they want it done yesterday. When you try to go into all these changing the Constitution, that takes time. No, we can't. We don't have time for that. We want it done our way right now. So it's a lot of talk, but nobody's going to do anything about it because it doesn't fit their timeline. Netflix has crossed the $100 billion mark for its market cap as it once again surprised industry observers that with better than expected growth in its subscribers. $100 billion. They're providing service that people like. And more people go for it. Nice. That's the way to do things. Provide service that people want. Don't charge them a whole lot. Make it on volume. It reminds me of a joke, but never mind. But that's nice. $100 billion mark. Congratulations, Netflix. Now, Spence, you were saying something about that there's an app that will tell you whether there are Netflix
violations. Yeah.
Net neutrality. So listen to that. Google announced that Android 8.1 Oreo will now display the speed of nearby open Wi-Fi networks to help you decide whether they're even worth the effort to connect to. The Wi-Fi settings menu will now display one of four speed labels: very fast, fast, okay, or slow. So when you see a network, you don't just see the name and it says secure or unsecure, whatever. It'll tell you how fast it is. That's kind of, I'm wondering how they pick that out unless the router, the Wi-Fi router has that information, because unless you can connect to it, how do you test it? And if you're not connected to it yet, you shouldn't be able to communicate with it. So it's interesting. I wonder how they do that. But you'll be able to know.
It's all done with voodoo magic.
Voodoo magic. Yeah.
All the results are held in place by, or put in place by the secret society.
A lot of people don't know what you're talking about because the only place that this has been mentioned is on Fox News.
Oh, well, now I'm not reading it on Fox News. So, oh well. Nick, you were saying that there are, or Spence, you said they're about to kill the iPhone 10. Like,
We were reading last week about that Apple may be killing the.
Well, they're just respinning it very
Yeah.
quickly. Is I mean by that.
So
Not
just
killing
in,
it. The second generation is going to come out. A couple new models.
just in time for its 10th anniversary,
Yeah.
Apple might finally be killing the MacBook Air, according to a new report from Digitimes. If this is true, it'd be the first axing of a laptop line from Apple since the iBook and PowerBook were axed back in 2006. It would also be about damn time. Apple quietly killed the 11-inch MacBook Air back in 2016, but the larger 13-inch version has lingered on, getting a mild processor refresh last year that still left the laptop using a 5th-generation Intel processor. That's 3 generations behind the processors currently found on the MacBook Air's competition, and it is the primary reason the laptop was excluded from our piece looking at the best laptop to be had for under $1,000. I mean, a lot of people, you see a lot of people using MacBook Air. Again, I don't understand. A lot of reports out there are talking about that the i5, in many cases, is faster or just as fast as the i7. People that are using laptops like the MacBook Air or the cheaper PCs, Windows laptops, don't use it for much other than get on the net or connect to computers on the other side. What do you need for that kind of operation? A lot of people are buying Chromebooks. What's wrong with having an MacBook Air and use it for that purpose?
I think you should just use an old flip phone to browse.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do.
I remember the first phone I had that actually had a browser built in. It was pretty bad. And then I got a BlackBerry with a browser, and that was marginally better. Still could not deal with the formatting of most modern internet sites. I have a Dell convertible laptop that I bought several years ago that has a dual core Intel something in it. I don't remember what it was. It was really cheap. I wound up upgrading the memory and put in a solid state drive. And it's actually works very well for browsing. And I use it for video editing. When I'm taking it with me, we're going on a trip in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be shooting more video from the Panama Canal. Mm-hmm. And I intend to do the same thing I did before with excerpts and clips, and I'll probably work on it on the trip. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not super fast, the processing of it, but it does a good job.
Yeah. Now you see, for something like that you're doing video, so yeah, you need power.
If I was editing a multi-source video, I wasn't just shortening an existing video or plugging a few clips together. Yes, it would not work very well. I don't. I also have used some pretty high-end stuff too. I was a big user of Sony's. I can't remember the name of it now. Desktop video editor, the home version of it.
Vegas.
Yeah. I was a big user of that for a long time. I still have it on one of these machines here. I just haven't used it in a while.
Yeah,
but and then again, you can do a great job editing a video on your iPhone.
The thing is that even the slower laptops can do it if you have the time.
Yeah, and you if you're doing a rendering and you just need to walk away
Yeah,
and let it do it. It's not a matter of it can't do it. It's just that it takes a long time.
it takes time, but we want everything now. I want it now.
Actually, that reminds me. I want to for this trip because I'm going to be essentially offline. I wanted to convert a couple of DVD videos so I can put them on iPad. And also remember to download some Netflix stuff because I'm going to be on a cruise ship and there's just no way I'm paying for Wi-Fi.
Well, when you get to port.
Yeah, even then I won't bother. It's just, I'm not that tied to it. It's just that sometimes at night, you want to, there's not a lot on the TV in the room. If you're going to hang out in the room, you're not out doing something else. Might want to watch a video or something. Usually I do this and then I wind up watching it twice because it's lots of stuff to do. So,
Oh, I wonder if when you go through the locks at the Panama Canal, if they let you connect to their Wi-Fi.
to the canal Wi-Fi?
Yeah, in order for you to.
I can try. We're signed up for a tour of the new locks.
Mm-hmm.
It's an actual where you get off the ship and you go on a bus and they take you to the visitor center and they take you on a tour of the locks themselves, which is pretty cool. So I'll be shooting video of that. I have my GoPro knockoff for the actual transit through the locks. So I'll stick it up front and I'll shoot it in time lapse. So I got dragged all that stuff out the other day, all my accessories that I have for my I bought a very nice knockoff GoPro. And of course it's a little weird. It has the menu is not as easy. At GoPro, the menu is, I think, superior. But this looks just like a GoPro. Same form factor. You can buy GoPro accessories that will work with it. But it's called TechBean, TEC.BEAN. And there's lots of different versions of this. And this is the 1080p camera. They make them in 4K. And I've used it several times. It actually works quite well. Does not have the suite of software that you can get with the GoPro.
But it has a good enough software.
Oh, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take you a little time to learn the menu and to turn features on and off and so on. But you just have to remember, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But I actually modified. This is the waterproof case. Now, for what I was doing on the ship, I wanted to have it outdoors. I wasn't obviously not going to be in the water, but I didn't want it to get affected by salt air. So I took a case just like this. I bought another one. It cost me $10. Exactly the same case, but I put a hole in the side, small enough hole that I could plug in the power connector so I can let it do the time lapse, which could be the first time we went through the Panama Canal. I let it record for 7 hours. Just let it sit there. And it went, I had a little separate power pack and I had a 64 gig micro SD card and it just did its thing for 7 hours. I think the battery in this camera will record maybe an hour and a half of real-time video. It'll maybe record 3 or 4 hours of time-lapse video. But it wouldn't do the entire day and I didn't want to have to worry about it. So
Nice.
But yeah,
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
yeah. And if you're
Absolutely.
willing to spend less, but spend a little more time to figure out what you want to do, and it'll work.
Well, Spence, you want to do specials?
I will. And I actually have it ready to go.
And there she is.
There she is.
There.
All right, let me see if I can
Let's
find
see.
my version of it here. So I can actually read it. No, that's not the right one. That's your version of it. I have to open up my version of it. There we are. Nope, that's not it either.
Oh, but mine says 128, 2018.
I realized I was looking at it in not on the web screen, but on the live stream screen. So I just need to switch to that. All right, I got it here. All right, plus plus plus. Bigger. Okay, so Computers 2K Now specials for January 28th, 2018. And Amnon, you can still get your Timex Sinclair computer for $99. The ad is on the front there. So order one for me too when you order yours.
Hey, what is that? Is that Charlie Chaplin there?
It's what?
Is this Charlie Chaplin on the IBM?
Yeah, that's what they used to use him for their ad, for their home computer ad or personal computer ad. They didn't really call it a home computer. It was more a business computer that they had a version that was cheaper for the home. And the PC Junior, which was a fabulous success. Not. Okay, laptops. We've got at Best Buy, we've got an entry-level Asus 15.6-inch Pentium. It is a quad-core mobile Pentium processor for $249, save $30. Entry-level. Next, stepping up at Office Depot to an i5. It says i5 gaming laptop. I just have never seen an i5 as a gaming machine, but hey, $699, save $200, 15.6-inch. And finally, a Dell Core i7 machine for $599, which is $200 off at Staples. Desktops, all-in-ones, we've got a Dell desktop Core i5 12 gig for $529. That's $70 off at Best Buy. Office Depot Office Max has an HP 21.5-inch all-in-one AMD A6 desktop for $399. That's $200 off the regular price. Good utility machine. Again, I like these for shared computers where you want to have kids use a computer out in an open space so you can see where they're going so they don't have their own computer in their room. Good for family environments. Easy to, doesn't take up a lot of space. That's at Office Depot. And finally, Staples has a Lenovo Idea Center with an AMD A9 processor for $289, entry-level, $110 off. Tablets, Best Buy has Insignia 11.6-inch 32-gig Android tablet for $129. That's $20 off. It does come with a detachable keyboard. Office Depot Office Max has a Dell 13.3-inch 2-in-1 convertible Core i3 laptop / tablet for $449, save $150. And Staples has a Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 9.7-inch tablet for $349, which is $50 off the regular price. Now here is a good deal, Amnon, on a Aris surfboard modem. And I went in and specifically checked on this. This is the SB6190. It is theoretically capable of 1.2 gig download speeds because this is 32 channels down, 8 channels up for $89.99, save $20. I wasn't aware that you could get it for a regular price of $110. That's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at Best Buy. Office Depot Office Max has a Netgear Orbi AC2200 tri-band Wi-Fi system. I'm not sure how many. It doesn't show the total number of components here, but $229. The stuff's pricey. It's $20 off. But all of these mesh systems, ones that communicate, where the actual access points communicate with each other, they have a central connection back to the actual wired internet. They all do a good job in overcoming interference and signal strength issues. But I'd look at them all. I mean, it's just a bunch of Google makes their own, Netgear makes their own, Linksys makes their own, T-Link makes their own. Lots of options out there. Staples has Google Chromecast Ultra for $59. That's $10 off the regular price. Storage. Best Buy has a 512 gig SanDisk SSD for $139.99. That's $60 off the regular price. Office Depot Office Max has a 32 gig Lexar Professional SDHC card for $19.99. It's half price, $20 off.
Does that mean that home users cannot buy this? They shouldn't.
Oh, you
Only
plug it in, it won't
professionals.
work. It'll say professionals only.
Okay.
So, what this the nice part about this is actually can record at 95 megabits per second. So this is a high throughput or fast. Like if you're recording 4K with your GoPro, you want to use a card like this. Although this is not the micro card, this is the SDHC, micro version. Seagate 4 terabyte USB 3.0 desktop drive for $99. That's 10 off at Staples. And I included this next portable USB drive in accessories because the two deals I had at Best Buy were so good. I wanted to mention both of them. And I didn't have a second space under storage. So under accessories, I've got a Western Digital 4 terabyte external USB 3.0 hard drive for $109, save $90. That is a deal. That is a good deal. Office Depot Office Max is an APC 900 VA battery backup system for $89.99. Staples has a new product from Logitech called the Keys to Go Ultra Portable Keyboard, and it works with iOS, and that includes tablets, phones, and Apple TV. It works with Android tablets and also works with PCs. So this is the dimensions are 9.5 by 3.5 by a 1/4 inch high. This is it's Bluetooth, but a very nice keyboard. It is not waterproof, but water resistant. It does have a membrane that you can clean. So $49.99, 20 off at Staples. Monitors, we've got a 23-inch Dell monitor at Best Buy for $109.99, 70 off. Got a 24-inch monitor at Office Depot from Samsung for $129.50 off. And we've got an AOC 32-inch IPS monitor for $179. That's $120 off at Staples. Printers, entry-level Canon Pixma wireless all-in-one printer for $69.99. That's 80 off. Office Depot Office Max has the Epson Workforce DS40 portable document scanner for $119.99, save $60. Very handy device if you have. This is for a specific need. Not for everybody, but it does do automatic duplex scanning. So if you have to scan in documents for work, it's nice because it will automatically adjust to size and will automatically crop depending on what software you're using. Crop the picture down to whatever size you feed in through it. Especially handy for photos where you've got all different sizes, older photos. And here's a deal. Sam, and I forgot to put in the Staples logo on this. There is a color printer out there, Samsung Color Laser Printer, available at Staples for $114. And that's more than half off the regular price. It is supposedly in-store pickup only. And it's one of those deals, price too low to show. You have to click and put it into the shopping cart in order to see the price. But I checked, my local Staples has 2 available for pickup in store. It does not say it can be ordered. It does not say it can be, I guess if you walked in the store and wanted to buy it and they had it in stock, you could buy it. But it's best to do is to set it up for in-store pickup and then go down and get it. But this is in line with the Dell printers that many of us have, Dell Color Laser printers, which is turning out to be extremely handy and very cost effective. So $114 at Staples.
The only difference is that the supplies for this one,
Samsung,
for that Samsung, is about, I see it on eBay. Not the actual Samsung. It's $80, $50
per color.
Yeah,
or for a full.
For the set. Yeah, for the set of cartridges for all the colors. So
what happened here? Hold on a second. I just I'm trying to figure out why I've got something playing in the background here. That was strange. That window's been sitting open for 10 minutes and suddenly decided to start playing a video.
Yep.
I didn't do nothing. Oh well, yeah. So that's always a good idea to look at the
Yeah,
price
the
of
ones for the
materials.
Dell, it's about $25 to $35 for the set of cartridges.
Yeah.
This is about almost double the cost.
But look at the
So
lifestyle.
it's just so you know.
Look at the lifespan, how many prints they say, and all
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
so do the math on it.
You
'Cause
need to.
it
You
still
need
turn
to.
out to be good.
Absolutely.
Home automation security at Best Buy. Now notice that these have the yellow background in the store identifier icon, which means it's not part of the regular weekly ad. Doesn't mean it's not a good deal or on sale, but it's a good point to look at this stuff. If anybody's a follower of Simply Safe security systems, they have their next generation is out now, so they're going to be having fire sales on their first generation, which are very good products. Not at all to be criticized for their size. The new ones are much smaller, but this is a pretty good starter set for $169. It's on sale. It's 100 and I can't read it. It's so small. I can't read how much it is off there. 100 and something dollars off. This comes with a keypad, a base station, a motion sensor, and 4 contact switches, as well as a remote for $169. So with Simply Safe, it's I think it's $15 a month for monitoring with police, what they'll call the police. If you do want to activate the apps, which most people want to do, it costs more, but it's still much, much cheaper than going with one of the big companies. And it's a great product. It works with a cellular-based radio where you can select AT&T and Verizon. I think there's a third provider you can use, and they will, if you buy one of these and you get it home and it turns out that the AT&T radio doesn't work that good, they'll send you the other version. I know my daughter had that issue. She was Verizon, and Verizon doesn't work very good at her house, so she talked to them and they sent her the AT&T version of it. It's got battery backup built into it, so good system. It is on sale at Best Buy, but not part of the weekly ad. Office Depot Office Max has a Philips U starter kit, which comes with the U hub, which is necessary for this kit, as well as 2 white Ambience A19 bulbs for $69. And Staples has a entry level. If you're looking for a wireless video surveillance, and you're not looking to do an entire property, you just want to have it over a counter somewhere, a cash register on your front door, or some special need like that, they do have the Defender Phoenix 7-inch monitor DVR security system. Does record to a flash drive and has a wireless camera for $179. And finally, at Fry's, this week Fry's website was back up. I'm not sure what was happening last week, maybe maintenance mode. They've got 2 CyberPower UPSs on sale. One is 1325 VA for $119, which is 20 off.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's got a lot of nice features. Mm-hmm. Monitoring with the screen there. And also the CyberPower 350 VA. That's probably the smallest one I've ever seen. Usually they're 450 for the really small ones. But 350 would be more than enough if you want to put it on your home router and your cable modem or DSL modem, whatever your provider gives you in the way of gear, would be more than enough to keep that sucker going through momentaries and brief outages. It's $29, $10 off the regular price. I ran across this universal tablet wall desk under cabinet mount. A lot of people use tablets now for things other than just watching videos or email. Like my son has a tablet mount in his kitchen because he's a cook, and he will put his recipes up on the tablet and have it accessible so he doesn't have to touch it while he's working. So this is an inexpensive flex mount for different size tablets. It's normally $34.99, $15 off for $19.99. And the prices of multi-port USB travel chargers is coming down. I have a 2-port one for travel, but now there's it for $9.99. They've got a 4-port USB travel charger with retractable prongs It's got two 1.1 amp and two 1 amp ports for $9.99. It's regularly $18.69, so $8.70 off. PNY it's 1,400 milliamps or 2.4 amps power output with one micro USB, three USB Type A digital with a digital display, $15.89, regularly $24.99. If you don't have one of these, if you're going somewhere where there's just not an opportunity to charge anything, these are great to have, and the size and weight has come down quite a bit. I've got one of these that I use for my GoPro knockoff, like I mentioned.
And the nice thing about all these chargers is that they work both for Android and iPhones. It's not like the old days where each phone.
Oh
has
yeah,
their
it had to be specifically set up for that device.
Right.
Did you see the video of the guy in China who they were looking at replacement batteries on a kiosk in the store, and he was testing it, so it bit into it, and it exploded.
Yeah, he was biting into it.
Yes, he bit into it when the comment when the guy near him, what do you think it's gold? You got to bite it to test it, and the guy bit into it, and it literally went flash and exploded.
No,
because it was a cheap knockoff battery. Oh, Bill. Oh well. And this is for you, Amnon. So you can fall back to your prior phone experience. This is
it's a phone.
It's a flip phone, and it's $14.98. Eve recently got herself a flip phone. Very, very cheap.
Yeah.
She was having trouble. She was trying to upgrade the battery in her Moto phone, and we did it and broke the ribbon cable that went to the volume control.
Oh.
So she was waiting to order a new phone. Weren't sure if her old phone would continue to work. She was waiting to. Now this is weird. I just had a window pop open on its own in Chrome.
You need to upgrade Chrome, because one of the stories that I have is Chrome this week. The latest one, you can block and completely stop sites that start playing videos on their own. They built it in.
Well, this was weird because I'm only site I had open was Computers 2K Now site.
Yeah. And
a news site that I always go to.
Well,
so that's weird.
Yeah.
Something's going on. And finally, we've got a couple of USB 3.0 high-speed hubs, I should say. And these are powered hubs. So they do provide power. They're not passive. There's a 7-port for $14.99, 10 off. And there's a 4-port for $9.99, which is $8 off after rebate. Well, one is a $10 mail-in rebate, and the other one's $3 instant savings with a $5 mail-in rebate. So a good deal for powered. And they're kind of an interesting form factor. It's a cylinder. But for a long time, USB 3.0 hubs, especially powered ones, were quite expensive. So there you go. That's Computers 2K Now specials for January 28th, 2018.
Thank you, Spence.
You're welcome.
As always. Well,
make the check out to me specifically. Don't, so I can deposit it. Or do a direct.
While you were talking.
Just do a direct money transfer to my account.
While you were talking about the special, Gene put a very entertaining message in the chat. Says,
I'm getting more money.
Nancy Pelosi said the tax bill would be Armageddon. And she says, this morning I found
that would be great. They need to make that into an ad campaign.
Yeah, he said, this morning I found out what Armageddon means. It means I'm getting more money.
There were stories. I was listening to a radio or a podcast and talking about how this is the week when people started getting paid, where the first reflections of the tax break are showing up in people's paychecks. And there's people who have no idea this was passed, no idea it was coming, going to HR and saying, something's wrong with my check. Why am I getting more money? Oh, you got a tax break. So what? And so it's going to be very interesting to see how the opposition
spins it,
paints this.
Yeah.
Think about how smug and elitist it is to say, well, $1,000 just isn't that much.
Yeah,
well,
it's crumbs.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Crumbs,
depending on how much
remember?
you make, it's a lot of money.
It's crumbs.
It's crumbs. It's crumbs for somebody like Nancy out there,
right.
who, whose net worth is, $500 million.
Yep. Yep. Anyway, we were talking about laptops and
We were?
netbooks and things like that. Small. So Microsoft unveiled new Windows 10s devices from Lenovo and JP. Who's JP? I never heard JP. Starting at $189, aimed at the education market. The company also announced new Office 365 learning tools for students. The news mirrors Microsoft first-line workers push in September, which saw new Windows 10s devices starting at $275. The company is now simply doing the same as part of its latest EDU push, and it's not mincing words when it comes to explaining its target audience: schools who don't want to compromise on Chromebooks. This is, I don't understand. There's nothing wrong with Chromebooks. Microsoft unveiled 4 new Windows 10 devices that are all supposed to offer more than Chrome OS. 2 are standard laptops. The Lenovo 100E, powered by Intel Celeron Apollo Lake for $189, and JP's Classmate Leap T303 with Windows Hello for $199.
Windows what?
Hello.
Hello.
That's what it says. Windows Hello.
Is that how it boots up? It says, hello. Well, this is what Apple always was so successful for, was flooding the education market.
Absolutely. That's how they started.
That trains, it didn't really help them with market share. Look at it. It didn't grow the market share the way I think they hoped it would. But this is smart. This is smart to put them out there. And
it's a nice try. Let's put it this way. I don't know how it's going to take. I don't know how,
chances are these kids have machines at home and they're already Windows 10.
Right.
So, yeah, who knows?
Do you have a Chromebook?
Do I have a Chromebook?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Hey, Nick. Oh, is Mike here?
Yep. Yeah, Mike is here.
Hey, Mike.
Hi.
Morning. Nick, you have a Chromebook, right?
I haven't used it in years.
I know, but I mean, when you got it, you were used to Windows. How hard was it for you to use a Chromebook?
I can't. It has changed so much since when I used it. I mean, they now have apps that are available. When I used it, it was literally just a web browser. That's all it was.
Okay.
Now it's a whole bunch of stuff. I have not used it in many, many years.
Just remember, if you buy a Chromebook, you're buying even deeper into the Google Borg.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You are buying Google when you buy a Chromebook.
I am Google of Borg. You will be assimilated.
Resistance is.
Well, since I've been away, if you guys talked about this, let me know. We'll skip it. But did you talk yet about the Malwarebytes meltdown yesterday?
No. Tell us. Please do tell.
Okay. First, I get an email from a friend out in California who's non-computer literate, says that her computer started doing really funny things. She's terrified of being hacked. Started doing really funny things and wouldn't do this or wouldn't do that. And I said, well, I'm not sure what it is. Sounds to me like it's typical Windows update. What I would do, she said, well, I forced it and shut it off. I said, well, I don't know what the answer is, but let me tell you that if it were me, what I would do, if any damage has been done, it's already been done. So what I would do is I would just leave it on overnight, come back tomorrow and see what happens. In a few hours, it had cleared itself up. So I didn't think anything about it. Then I saw where Todd Cochran's computer, his Windows computer, melted down. Then I got an email through my lawyer network that they were having computer problems. These things just started rippling. It turns out that Malwarebytes issued an update yesterday that would totally max out the CPU on your computer. Subsequently, I saw a number of people on Facebook having the same problem, spending all day on it. It turns out that the quickest solution would have been to go through Task Manager, stop the Malwarebytes process after the update had been released, and restart it, update it, run it, and then the problem would go away.
Yeah, I'm looking at a screenshot from Bleeping Computer showing that the MBAM service would take 97% CPU.
And people are dogging on, I'll never run that again. That'll never be on my computer again.
Oh,
It's okay.
come
They don't
on.
care. They don't care.
Yeah.
Yes. Isn't it amazing how sometimes even the most, I won't say innocent mistakes. Yeah, this is a mistake. They put it out there. Yeah, it wasn't, I'm sure they didn't want to destroy the relationship with their customers, but they fixed it pretty quickly, I'm sure. And they responded and they fixed it. But yet people now, that's it. They're done. Okay.
They can get their money back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Triple back.
Yeah.
I don't mind people making mistakes. There are two instances where it's a real problem. However, the first one is that if their mistake causes permanent damage. Now, I've got a problem with that. They should have checked it out sooner. The second issue is that if they don't correct the mistake or acknowledge it, those are the two instances where I have a problem. Other than that, it's a mere inconvenience. Sure, people could have, this could have happened on broadcast and put the station off the air, and all that's bad. But you know what? If you don't want the risk, don't run the computer.
Right. So what else is going on, Mike?
Oh, just fighting these echoes.
You mean the Amazon Echo?
Correct.
Why?
There's just strange things. Nick figured out what was going wrong. We were trying to do the drop-in thing and the call thing, and the problem's not the units. The problem is that their manuals are just terrible. They're just terrible. They could hire somebody who's good at writing a manual and make those suckers jump ahead by leaps and bounds, but the manuals are just terrible.
All right.
We were listening to the one, our first one, we were listening to it. The show kept cutting out. We have a second one in the bedroom, listened to it. It seemed to be working pretty constantly. Then it cut out, went into the library and played the new one in there. It was doing the same thing that the first one was doing. So.
Oh, I thought you were saying just a second. Oh, and so did you solve the problem? I mean, were you talking about this show that was cutting out?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's still, I mean,
I don't know in front of the computer, but we finally just turned it off.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
I would think my thought would be that, how are you feeding TuneIn?
It's through the audio.
Well, obviously, but how are you doing it on the computer? What is the utility that you're using to send that audio to TuneIn?
What is it? NCH?
I would stop it and restart it.
All right. I mean, remember, they come here to get it, but I can do that.
Yeah, well, you can wait after the show if you want to, but
no, I mean,
Charles can check it for us, I guess. He was having a similar problem.
I can do it right now. Keep going. Don't stay quiet, though.
I got your private message, I'm aware. So when is that ball game today?
What ball game?
Isn't there a ball game today?
When you say ball game, what are you talking about? Football?
I don't know. There's something everybody's getting all jacked up about.
No, not today.
When is it?
Next weekend.
What is it?
The Super Bowl.
Okay, so Super Bowl is next. Okay, that's good.
Yes, sir.
So my daughter's traveling. I didn't know whether they were going to schedule a travel day from her. They were people so jacked up about it. I thought it was today.
No,
The Monday
today's
after Super Bowl is the least productive day all year at work.
I don't know. You ought to see some of the people. Never mind.
Today's the World Croquet Finals. That's what you're talking about.
Oh,
Mike.
that's it. That's what I was talking about.
That's it.
People are all jacked up over that.
Yep.
Next
Oh,
Sunday.
well.
Good. I don't have anything to do next Sunday. I can finally get something done.
No, you're not going to watch Super Bowl.
And Charles says it dropped out with the restart. I assume it would certainly have dropped out.
Yeah, it's just coming up.
Savage Pagan, you can mention anything you want.
You can call in.
So today is the Pro Bowl. I guess that's in Hawaii.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl's kind of.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's not what it used to be.
Okay, it should be back up.
Yeah, Savage Pagan says, have you heard about the bill introduced that would stop states from banning broadband competition? I've not heard about that bill. The fact is that a bill being introduced doesn't have a whole lot of meaning unless it has pretty broad support. It says a new bill introduced by Representative Anna Eshoo Kazumtai hopes to stop states from banning broadband competition. The Community Broadband Act declares that no state may pass legislation that would prohibit or have the effect of prohibiting any public provider from providing to any person or any public or private entity advanced telecommunication capability or any service that utilizes the advanced. And then it cut off. He'll post the rest of it, I guess. That's House Resolution 4814, Community Broadband Act. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's generally when Congress gets involved, it screws up. So I'm not sure that it's a good thing even then. And I'm not even sure how big the problem is anymore. We certainly raised our share of fuss around here whenever we were complaining about any service that utilizes the advanced telecommunications capability provided by such provider. We started getting all upset whenever the municipalities were blocked from providing broadband. It turns out that the bigger providers did get more aggressive about providing broadband in certain communities. I mean, there's a lot going on that we don't know about. And you remember whenever AT&T started burying fiber, I didn't know they were burying fiber till they were digging up my yard.
I remember that.
They didn't. They certainly had not announced it or made a ballyhoo about it. And sort of the same thing's happening over here. Google Fiber is all over some parts of Cary and all over some parts of Raleigh. I don't anticipate it'll ever get here, which is fine. What I've got will work. I wish they would come here, but it's still the Google Borg.
I know several people that got Google Fiber who had it pulled out.
Really?
Yeah, it just
Why?
wasn't performing. Performance could not get, and they're apparently whatever they used for Wi-Fi was not working well, and they in each case they fell back to either Spectrum or AT&T.
I would find that hard to believe unless they
Me
really.
too. I was surprised.
I mean, if they can't get it to connect, then that's a deal breaker.
No, it connected, but the performance was bad. They didn't get the speed that they promised, and
Well,
it was
but what does that mean?
intermittent.
What speed does that mean? I'm not getting the speed I was promised with AT&T. There are people around here getting upwards of 950, which is what you're supposed to get, 940, 950. I'm lucky to get 600.
Restarted.
My son has AT&T fiber, and he's getting 4 something down and 600 up.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the fact is that it's $70 a month. It's fixed price for now. It's reasonable. I don't have any bandwidth issues. It would be nice to get what I'm paying for, but it's not going to happen. So I'm going to worry about more important things.
Oh, Mike, just I wanted to mention this to you. I went over my son's yesterday, and he has a machine called a Glowforge, which is a laser laser burning etching machine. Works like an XY plotter, but is used for burning wood and other materials, for putting patterns in. It can actually cut through thin material, but very cool. I mean, he was on a
very popular things right now.
Yeah, Kickstarter. He was one of the first ones to get this machine, and he was making custom. He made a bunch of Christmas gifts with this thing, but he went over there and he gave me a demo of it yesterday, and how he modifies with the software. You can take a logo. You still have to outline the logo. It's not. You can't turn it into a vector image without manipulation. But for woodworking, amazing his stuff he's doing with it.
I'm very seriously considering getting one of the newer CNC machines for wood and plastic.
Yep. This will do it. It'll burn through and actually cut through veneer. But and they do give you samples of all the different stuff that it'll cut. Plexiglass.
I have access to a commercial model that will do that. Yeah. The problem is you've got to know how to prepare your drawings. If I go over there with a USB key, I want him to burn something on his laser. His will cut metal, but if I go over there and cut laser, I would have to know what that file looks like. I imagine that would be pretty.
Yeah, and that's it. If you stay within the ecosystem that comes with the machine, you're fine. But when you try to pull in something from outside, it's daunting. But the purpose of this is not to get that detailed. He's making things like custom wooden bottle openers for order. And he was over there yesterday, and he was processing thousands of blank wooden handles. So that he's got a whole library of them now, that when he makes them, he can make them processing
them how? On the computer or actually?
No, he cuts them to size. He routes them, sands them, planes them down, and gets some holes pre-drilled and all that, so it's ready to go. And that way people can pick out, well, do you want hardwood, light wood, dark wood, slab wood? And he's got all kinds of, I save everything now for him when I instead of throwing away wood that I would normally not keep, he takes it and he'll cut it all down, and then he'll take stuff that's got knots and things in it that look really cool. And he makes these kind of non-conventional bottle openers.
Yeah. Do they work?
Oh yeah, it just works where you have a stick of wood, a rectangular long stick of wood, and you put two large flathead screws in, so they stick out about half an inch. And what you do is you slide it up to the bottle cap and grab it, and just push down on the handle, and it opens the bottle. And he makes it so they have magnets so they can stick on your refrigerator with the logo. We makes them for weddings as a giveaway, and does it for bars as a souvenir. And now he's going to be setting up to make them for people custom, like we're discussing how we're going to do this as far as getting them to arts and crafts events where he can bring the machine with him and actually make the stuff for people right there, custom made. Fascinating.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
I may know why it was breaking up.
Well, tell us, Amnon.
I realize, and I forgot. You see, it's the screen blanks itself, and I never touched that laptop. There were 97 audio listeners. And if you go to the link, it comes and gets it directly from here.
Mm-hmm.
Each stream has its own, 34 or something like that?
I don't recall what you're streaming at.
Yeah. So it eats up the bandwidth. So I think what I'm going to do, now that it's going to TuneIn and it's pretty solid, I think I'm going to do away with the direct link to this server.
You need to have a direct link. That's how TuneIn gets it.
Do what?
You need to have a direct link. That's how TuneIn gets it.
True link?
You're breaking up, Nick.
Yeah.
That TuneIn gets it with the direct link. If you turn that off.
No. I'm not going to turn that off. I'm going to turn it off Like right now, if you look under the video and you click on audio only,
Yeah.
that starts your JW player that comes and gets it from here.
Oh, you need to make that the tune-in embed.
Right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it so it goes to TuneIn, and then there'll be one link, one stream that will feed a lot of people. Right now, each one is coming to get it from you. So that may be the problem.
Okay, so Savage Pagans is talking about the new Time Warner, or what is it, Speculum. They now have a 1 gig down, 35 megabit up for $105 a month. Why would you do that? Only if you couldn't get 1 gig down elsewhere.
Right.
But the reality is that in my personal needs, 100 to 300 down would be adequate for me.
If it really
is.
Yeah.
And hate Speculum as much as we do, they always over provisioned. If you were not getting your full, we said that here on this show, if you're not getting what you're paying for from Speculum at Time Warner back then, you need to call them and get them out there, because there is a problem. They had to come to my house 11 times to get it solved. And once they did, it was rock solid.
I did as well. I had trouble. I had to actually put in a dedicated coax to my cable modem, and then do quite a bit of tuning. But it's been
now,
good.
If you think about it, a gig may be these days necessary if you have 5 kids and you're using the computers, and that's how you watch TV, and that's how everybody else is watching it on their devices. You need a lot. But if you're at home, mainly you and your wife and 1 kid, there's no need for that. There's really isn't. If you're watching a movie on Netflix, so it gets it down right away, and then you're watching it or whatever. But it will be just as much with half that speed, right? Am I looking at it in the wrong way?
No, you're not. I think one of the biggest bottlenecks you have in a house is Wi-Fi, and not having dealt with
that's true.
interference. You get, if you Netflix on some TV, smart TV apps, it'll do a bandwidth test when you start Netflix up, and will show you what your aggregate throughput is. Like it'll come up and say you're getting 12 meg, 16 meg, or whatever. And not that you can do anything about it, but I just tested my bandwidth here up in my office, and I'm going across the Ethernet I installed down to my router, which is now down in my living room, and I'm getting 319 download up here. So I know my network is
all right. So
I'm
that's
paying for turbo, so that's what I'm supposed to get, and 21 up. So, but yeah, interference can be, a great deal of interference issues can be solved with getting the latest AC router, but you have to, if you have a smart TV with Wi-Fi in it, it's not going to have the adapter that can take advantage of streaming across multiple frequencies or bands. So the best way is to have wired, if you can do it. That's why I moved my modem and router downstairs, not only to get closer to the amplifier into my house, but also to have direct connections to my devices, my Chromecast and my what do you call it, Apple TV and so on, and the television directly Ethernet.
Yeah.
More better.
More better. All right. Let's see what else here. Hackers stole several $100 million worth of a lesser-known cryptocurrency from a major Japanese exchange Friday. CoinCheck said that around 523 million of the exchange's NEM coins were sent to another account around 3 a.m. local time. According to a Google Translate of a Japanese transcript of the Friday press conference from LogMe. You come across these articles almost every day, every other day, that cryptocurrency was stolen here, was lost there, I don't know who's got that kind of money to put into it and just lose it. I don't.
Well, to be fair, Amnon,
Yeah.
sorry about the throat. The number of people losing is so infinitesimally small compared to the number of people playing that it's really, unless it's your money, it's not a big number. The issue here is just like these misguided Mac users who think that their computers don't break or that they can't get a virus.
Yeah.
These cryptocurrency people think it's totally safe and it's totally immune to being hacked, and the stories are kind of in their face about it. In the scheme of things, when you look at the billions and billions of dollars being transacted safely, these few hacks make the news when the number of satisfactory and safe transactions are never discussed.
Oh.
I mean, this is another Mount Gox happening again, where somebody goes in and just decides they're going to steal a whole bunch of cryptocurrency, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And who knows? Most of the time, it's probably an inside job.
It very well could be an inside job, but I think this re-legitimizes not re-legitimizes, brings back the conversation, the argument that you've just, be careful what you're, getting into, because like these things can just disappear and there's no rhyme or reason to it. They just disappear.
Okay, let's see if I had caught the contagion and bought BitHound at 20,000. Let's see where I would be right now.
BitHound?
Bitcoin. I would be down to almost half of what I put into it.
Well, we're not talking about Bitcoin, but nevertheless,
I am talking about Bitcoin.
This hack is not Bitcoin.
No,
it's cryptocurrency.
Well, yeah, I agree, but I think this brings back
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, but it brings back.
I'm using that as an example.
Okay, well, I just talking about this. The biggest problem with this, there's no regulation. This shit just disappears randomly because somebody decided they're gonna. No, I'm not saying we need government, but God forbid you put your life because there's a whole bunch of these idiots that are thinking, oh, cryptocurrency is going to be my life. Yep. So they throw all their freaking life savings into cryptocurrency, and then some Chinese hacker comes and steals it all. And then they cry, and then they complain and cry about it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's just there's no this same thing happened with Mt. Gox and Bitcoin in 2012 or 2013.
We were talking about Chrome. So Google on Thursday pushed an update to its marquee web browser Chrome, now at version 64, v64, which offers a handful of new features, including an improved ad blocker and specter mitigation. Guess what? It says most of the new features included with Chrome 64 are meant to improve the browser's support for ever-changing web standards that drive the modern internet. For example, Chrome 64 is chock full of support for new browser APIs, new CSS properties, new JavaScript, ECMA script features, and changes to Chrome V8 JavaScript engines. Other big changes that shipped with Chrome 64 are on the browser security side. For starters, it includes mitigation against the web exploitable Spectre flaw. Further, Chrome 64 also comes with a bolstered pop-up blocker that can now block tab under behavior, being much more efficient at blocking malvertising redirects. And another thing that in another article says the best new features in Chrome 64 is the ability to permanently mute websites that autoplay videos. This feature was teased for several months, but now it's finally here. It says to mute a site that automatically plays videos, users will need to click the view site information symbol, which may look like a green padlock on the left-hand edge of the omnibar, the address bar combined with the Google search box. Then they will need to select sound. Once the website is muted, it will not automatically play videos with sound again until you unmute it. So, again, you need to click the view site information symbol, which may look like a green padlock, on the left-hand edge of the omnibar, which is the address bar combined with the Google search box. And then select sound, and I guess you mute it in there. It says once you mute it, it will not automatically play videos with sound. So there you go, Spence. Next. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to clear my throat.
Okay. Following an uproar from customers last month, Apple on Wednesday said it's adding a feature to its latest iOS update that will let customers turn off software that slows down their iPhones. About time. From a report, it says that Apple in December revealed that it released software a year earlier that makes your phone run more slowly to prevent problems with its aging lithium-ion battery.
The problem is you have to update to the newest software to get the capability, and the newest software is garbage.
Oh. Yeah, it says as part of the new iOS 11.3 update, iPhone users will get a recommendation if a battery needs to be serviced. Plus, they will be able to see if the power management feature that slows the phone's performance is on and can choose to turn it off. But yeah, but if it comes with a bunch of other junk, it's, you know, worthless, weightless. But they did release a round of bug fix security updates, including iOS 11.25, macOS 10.3, 13.3, High Sierra, blah, 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 blah. In doing so, it also offered some security updates for Macs running older versions of its OS, including OS 10.11, El Capitan, and macOS. The security updates mainly focus on the Meltdown and Spectre vulnerabilities. So they're fixing some more, and they, unlike Dell and HP and Intel, they are installing now. That's right. Intel and HP and the others are saying don't install the BIOS update. But nobody said anything about the Windows update that's supposed to mitigate it and protect against it. So I guess that's okay because they're also talking about operating system updates. All right. And you are going to be able to buy ebooks and audiobooks straight from Walmart's website later on this year.
That's good.
It says the big box retailer has teamed up with Japanese e-commerce titan Rakuten to launch a business that can take on Amazon Kindle offerings. Walmart will give its customers in the U.S. an easy access to Kobo's library. Kobo is Rakuten's digital book vision, and it's 6 million titles from tens of thousands of publishers. So, yep, competition is good. Nick, you still have a Pebble?
I do. I have not used it. I do still
Says
have it.
Fitbit announced that it will extend its support of the Pebble smartwatch ecosystem, including devices, software, and forums, until June 2018. During this time, we invite the Pebble community to explore new familiar highlights from the Pebble ecosystem, are evolving on how familiar highlights from the Pebble ecosystem are evolving on the Fitbit platform. From apps and clock faces to features and experiences. So apparently they were supposed to stop support, but they are extending it until June 30th.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys? Mike, Spence, Nick?
No, John and I are debating this puzzle I posted. It amazes me how many people don't know anything about math. Like Nick, he's a math expert.
Why are you always attacking me?
I'm complimenting you. You need to learn how to accept a
I'm
compliment.
sorry.
Nick,
What?
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Nick, you never realized what a compliment is, did you? You
No,
thought
I
it was
guess not.
something else.
I've been living a lie.
All right.
You need to go and talk to Oprah so you can find your truth, Nick.
Oh, jeez.
Do
She's
it
also
quick.
very-
Do it quick before she becomes president.
No,
Yeah.
she's turned it down. She said
Yeah.
she's not interested.
She did turn it down.
Yeah, she probably saw the polling.
Yeah, it was like it didn't look too good.
So I guess we'll end the show. It's that time of day. So thanks, Spence, Mike, Nick, and everybody else who's out there. And good morning to Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner. Make sure you do something with Malwarebytes. If you have something funny, update it. They probably have an update, or just like Mike said, stop it and restart it. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Starting a new show. It's not a live show. It's a pre-recorded show. It's going to be on Monday morning at 10, called Our View. And it's local women talking about regenerative farms and food and organic and good for you and all that kind of stuff. Tonight at 7, Nick Craig hosts Against the Norm on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7, and you can listen on TuneIn. See you next week, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.